Hi there, this is Niki Rowland for Hit Kit Club, and today I'm designing a layout for Mixed Media Monday. So I am using the very beautiful December kits. They're definitely my favourite kits to date so far, almost all exclusive, so awesome. I had the main kit, the Project Life kit, the Embellishment Kit, and also the colour kit to play with. I've also pulled out some colours from past kits too, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to create a watercolour background using the packaging technique and a whole load of the Shimmerz products that we've received in this month's kit and previous kits too. So I'm starting off by using a background of white cardstock, and I've just sort of worked out my photo and roughly where I'm going to place that and a Project Life card on the layout, and now I'm just going to go around and create some splatters of colour, some areas of colour. I like to mark it with a pencil so I roughly know where my photos are going to sit, just so that I make sure that my watercolour background will appear out of the sides of the photo. I don't want to cover it all up completely. I need it to be big enough so that I've got room to add embellishments, but not so big that it takes up the entire page. So the first two colours I've used there are the two that we received in this month's, the December kit, which are the Holly and the Ivy, which is the green, and Red Necking, which was the red. I've now going through, and I wanted to add a slightly lighter pink that went with the pink from that appears quite a lot in the kit. And I've picked out the Pinko de Mayo Shimmerz paint that came in the June colour kit, and I've also used a Vibez spray in Pop Art Pink, which we had in October, in the October kit. So I've added those two colours, and now I'm adding a lighter shade of green, and that's the mint colour. It's Mint to Be, it's called, and that was in the November kit. So these are all really recent colours, and they go beautifully with what is in the kit. I'm a little bit worried about the red and the green mixing together. They're opposites on the colour wheel, so they create like a muddy colour, so I was a little bit worried about that, especially as I'm filming this away on vacation, and therefore I don't have a heat tool, so I can't leave it to dry in between each colour because it will literally take all day to dry to do each colour. So I just had to work with what I got, and I just about managed. What I'm doing now is I'm using that fantastic stencil and the Dazzlerz Spun sugar texture paste, which is really shimmery. So I've just pushed a little bit through the stencil, the snowflake stencil, a little bit at the top of the watercolour, a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to come back through and add my photos on top of there, so that white patch in the middle you won't see. So this is many hours later. I think in fact it might be the next day, my background is completely dry, including the texture paste. It does take a while to dry, and with an absence of a heat tool, I really had to wait for that to dry by itself, so I needed a good few hours there. And as you can see, my photos sit nicely and cover up the hole in the middle. I've mounted my white background onto a piece of blue paper with snowflakes on it, which was one of the exclusives from the December kit, and I've added that Jolly Good journaling card, which is one of the Project Life cards, with my photo, and I've also added a large piece of one of the packaging pieces of card that came in. You know, all the embellishments this month had this lovely packaging that cardstock that they came on. It was really pretty. It's an extra pattern, I think. So I've cut up some of that and put that behind my photo and used it as one long piece. And now I'm just slotting stuff in, trying to pull this layout together. I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go with this layout to start off with. I've obviously got a photo of my children with Santa, so I wanted kind of Santa whimsical type embellishments, and I also wanted to make sure I had lots of interest around my photos, but without covering up too much of the mixed media background that I've just spent ages creating. So yeah, I'm just at the moment still playing, tucking things in, making sure that everything will still be seen, whilst getting all the colours into, because I really wanted to make sure I pulled through the right colours. There's the colours in the background are fairly soft, so I didn't want to pull through too many dark colours, so I was trying to avoid the navy colours and the browns. not because I don't like them, but just purely because they weren't in the background colour. So I don't mind a small amount of those, but I didn't want them to be too overpowering. So I wasn't too sure about this reindeer that I'm putting in now, but he went on, he came off, he went on, he came off, but he stayed on in the end. So so yeah, I was just trying to figure that out. I was also thinking that I would put my journaling under the words jolly good, and there's pink strips on that journaling card in particular for writing on, but in the end I've put another piece of ephemera there to kind of sit above the sleigh, so I probably won't write on there. I do actually write some journaling, which I think I do fit in that white space. I was going to put journaling strips at the bottom, but you know, it's a process and I kept changing my mind, yeah, I'm happy with what I did in the end. So I've obviously got quite a lot of embellishments as you're looking at the layout on the left hand side, and I needed to build up the cluster on the right as well. Again, I was just conscious of covering up too much of the paint that I'd created, but you know, these things happen. So because I was going to cover some of the bits up, I wanted to make sure that I had the right amount of colour to balance the layout. So there's a big reddish splodge above the tag on the right hand side, and I'm just trying to bring that down a bit with the light blue snowflake chipboard that I've got there, and I think I add some more to that cluster as well. I'm just adding the title now, so I'm going for Naughty or Nice, which is on the Puffy Stickers exclusive sticker sheet. I absolutely love this sheet. Well, there's two of them actually. It's so lovely. Lots and lots of great sayings. I love all the fonts, all the different colours, and all the different words and sayings. Awesome. Now I don't have a question mark, and Naughty or Nice I feel has to have a question mark, so I do actually add one in from the wooden stickers in the end. I'm not sure if I do that on film or if I do it off film, but definitely a question mark got added. I had to look around to find one that worked with that, and there wasn't one on that sticker sheet at all, the puffy stickers that is. So now I'm going through and adding on some final bits of embellishments. I've pulled out some snowflakes because I've got snowflakes in the Spun sugar texture paste on my background, and I wanted to just pull that through a little bit more. The colours are kind of wintry too, they remind me of winter. I've also pulled out the little circular snowflakes from the ephemera that was in the Project Life kit, and I've scattered those around the layout as well. And now I've pulled out one of those pieces from the pink fresh paper, that one with all the bits you can cut apart on it, and there was one of those labels that had 5 little trees, so I'm fussy cutting all those out because the colours of those went perfectly with what was on my layout so far, and I just wanted to add some little details. So those really cute fussy cut trees just add that little extra something to the layout. So I love fussy cutting. I love putting in lots of details and interest to my layouts. So yeah, that was a little nice addition for me. And I've added the banner from that same piece too, and I'm just going through and building up on that kind of vertical spray that I've got going on from top to bottom. It's kind of like a scattering of snowflakes and stars, and I'm just continuing to add to that. I'm now using these lovely clear stickers with phrases on, and I just put a few of those over on the right hand side. It just needed a bit of balancing. The left hand side has got a lot of embellishments, a large sleigh, and I just felt that the right hand side seemed a little bit empty. It just needed to be pulled down a little bit. There you can see I've added that pink snowflake to that large reddish blob to counteract that colour a bit, dull it down a bit because it was a bit bright, and there's my journaling going on. So I wrote the date on the tag on the right, and I've just put my wording on the left under jolly good in that white space. And yeah, almost done now. What I'm just wanting to do is add some flicks to the backgrounds. So obviously I covered up a lot of my mixed media background. I just wanted it to shine out over the edges of my photos and the embellishments there, which is exactly what it does. But I just wanted to extend it slightly with the different ink splatters in the same kind of colours, not all of them, but some of them, just to bring to make them more obvious, to bring them out a bit more. So I'm adding the red necking and the Holly and the Ivy colour, that's the red and the dark green, that were in this month's kit, and I've also just then added It's Meant to Be. Now going through to add Minor 49er. It's an Inklingz, and we received it in the August 2018 kit, and it's such a beautiful gold colour, really lovely. It sits on top of the paper really well. It doesn't soak in and leave a mark. It just sits there and shines away. So I wanted to add a little bit of gold. I've got some bits of gold on this layout, but not many. Got a little bit of gold thread and a gold star, and I just wanted to pull that gold through a little bit more with a few splatters around the edge of the layout. Yeah, so that is my layout complete. I'm going to call that done. You can see there I've added some stitching through my letters and added the question mark. So yeah, that was Niki Rowland for Mixed Media Monday for Hip Kit Club. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you next time.